Hi everybody, and welcome back to my mini homestead. Today is January 7th, and as you can see, we have no snow. I have to say it's only about 1.3 out here today, Celsius that is. We've had 4 snowfalls, nothing more than half an inch, and they've all melted the same day. Now Thursday we're supposed to drop down to -8 Celsius, but it's very different winter than last year, and yes, I got my hair cut. All right, let's take a look at the garden and tell you about my plans for next year. So we're gonna start here in the lower garden, and this bed here, I mean that's one of the first garden beds we built. Have wanted to take it out forever, but there's just been too much other stuff to do. So it's coming out, and I plan on putting some pavers down here, and then I'm going to put in a green stalk, at least one, maybe 2, and I'm going to transplant. I will tell you about that when we get to the upper garden. Okay, and so then we've got our rock garden here. The last couple of years we've had portulacas planted in here, but this year the lower garden is going to be all about vegetables as much as possible. So the plan is actually to plant cucumbers in here. So I've ordered a new kind. It's called Bush. Hopefully I'll get it in the next week or so. That's what we're going to plant in here, and that's a pickling cucumber. Then over here where we have the periwinkles, we're going to dig those up, and we're actually going to plant our zucchini here. I have a feeling what I'll probably do is put some pots in, because I don't know if I'll have time to get the beds made. And then I want to put in 1 or 2 beds here. So we'll see. It's a work in progress. Okay, let's go down lower. So as you already know from my raspberry videos, I just have to put the cross beams or whatever, posts, whatever you want to call them, on the end of these posts so I can get my raspberries strung up. And then let's get down here. So the plan for this bed is going to be cantaloupe on the trellis, and I'm going to plant peas. So like one of my first crops going in will be the peas, and these will be bush peas, and they'll go on the end of this bed. On the inside I'm planning on putting carrots or beets, not sure. I mean, I'm going to use both sides of each inside of the bed where it's narrow. I'm going to do that. Of course, tomatoes are going back here, but I am going to string from post to post and put in my snow peas. I'm not worried about saving seeds for these. So if they cross-pollinate, they cross-pollinate. And then the bed that has been my cabbage is going to be my Bellatrix tomatoes, as well as my broccoli bed. And yes, that is broccoli. It's going to be Bellatrix. Oh, I forgot to show you. Let's go back. In the fall, before I had surgery, I threw out some radish seeds. And yes, those are little baby radishes. Let's get a little closer there. Yeah, baby radishes. They have survived this cold. I don't expect them to survive this week. It's just going to be too cold. And then, not sure. Oh, those are peas. I just noticed I had something growing here. And those are peas. I got more. I had stuck peas in here too, so I thought they're cold crops. Let's see what happens. But I mean, that was back in October, the end of October. Okay, back over to this bed. So I have broccoli in here, and as you can see, I have little crowns. Let's see, there we go, little crowns of broccoli. I'm actually, because we're gonna get so cold, there's another one. Because we're gonna get so cold, I am gonna dig these up and put them into the greenhouse. There's no heat in the greenhouse, but I figure it'll help. Okay, so I have dill that'll self-plant it, so I'm expecting a lot of dill in between there. And as I said, I'm going to do cantaloupe up here. I'm actually not sure what I'm going to grow on this one yet. Our string beans are going to go on this trellis, because that way it's the 3rd year of growing string beans, and they will be here. Wow, 3rd year. And then this bed here is going to be bush peas, and I'm going to move my cabbage and broccoli into this bed. I want to plant cauliflower. I'm just not sure yet where I'm going to do that. And with the broccoli, I want to do succession planting. I think I bought some that will send out side shoots after I've harvested, and one kind that won't. All right, let's see what else is going. Oh, and then down here, blackberries still have green leaves. And I do have some I need to cut off because they produced fruit last year, but I had surgery so it didn't get done. I need to put T-posts in here and straighten it up because it is leaning. So I will get that done in the spring when I pull them out of the raspberry beds. Oh, and then another big job, I'm not looking forward to this one, is I am going to redo the compost bins. So I'm going to order some, sorry about that, I had to sit down. I'm going to order some cedar, make a bed here, or make a 3-bin. And then what I plan on doing is taking what I have here up top to the lower garden and probably build a two compost bins. I don't want to be carrying all the stuff down here and then all the way back up there. So it will look better sometime in the spring. So it is one of my first jobs that I want to get done because everything that's in these beds will go into the new beds that I'm building. And then I'll top it up with some good compost. Like on the bottom I'll have good compost, but I'm gonna have to buy compost again this year, and then I'm hoping that is it. All right, let's go take a look at the greenhouse. It's a mess. So, actually let's look at the potting shed first. What I started to do is, everything just got thrown in here in the fall. And if you garden, you'll understand that. Try to get it done before the snow, then the snow doesn't come. So I had a bunch of stuff stacked up right in here. And here is my new worktop. So hoping today to start building a frame to get it up so that I can start my seedlings. The power, hopefully I can get in here depending on the weather around the beginning of March. That's my goal. It'll depend on how hard the ground gets. This shelf here will be for stacking all my trays and my cell trays and all that kind of stuff. And then these shelves are going out of here. One shelf is going to go into my workshop. The other shelf will go into our pool room for storage. And then I want to get 2 more shelves like the silver one here. But I have to go to the States for that because I want 24 inches deep. Then I can have 4 trays side by side. Like here, you can see they hang over the edge, right? And if they're not even in there, then the water is deeper at one end than the other end. And so I want to get that taken care of because also next year I want to be growing microgreens, and so I want good trays and I want to put more shelves in it, and we'll do that. So a lot of the stuff that was in here is now in my greenhouse. Let's go over there. And there's Missy and Nugget out here. All right. So as you can see, I've just piled up some of the stuff down here at this end and hopefully get it out of here in not too much time. And I'm just going to dig myself 4 holes or 5 holes down at this end. Make sure there's moisture, and I can tell there's moisture in there. And I'm going to plant the broccoli here. And then I plan on putting another layer of plastic over top of it just to give it some extra protection. And who knows, maybe I should dig up the beans and or peas and radishes. Don't know. Missy, are you trying to get into trouble? She loves to dig, don't you? She's got to check it out. Okay, let's continue our tour. This is our backyard, and this is where our air conditioner sits. What I'm hoping to do is put a flower bed in here, and then up there, leave a path so we can get into the air conditioner when needed, and then put a bed in here. So you can kind of see where the light color grass is. I know, we have green grass. Where that light colored grass is, that's kind of where I'm hoping to put the flower bed. And then I want to put a flower bed on each side of the stairs. So that's one of my spring jobs. We'll go from there. So now we're up in the upper garden, or the poolside garden, and this is my little herb garden. And as you can see, I've got sage growing. I've got, this parsley doesn't look so great, but that one's looking good. I need to get in here and cut everything out. I still have rosemary growing that I could use if I wanted. Oregano, it's all seeded, but inside. And then I've got some parsley over here. But once we hit -8, I don't think it'll survive. All right, let's look at the rest of the garden. So I have big plans for this garden coming this year. I am planning on turning the poolside garden into a cut flower garden. So I'm really excited about it. So let's take a closer look at the different beds and what I'm planning on doing, and we'll go from there. Plan on putting a bed all along the fence, and I want to grow sunflowers. I've got sunflowers growing. I'm really quite excited about it. And then our strawberry beds, all the strawberries are coming out. I'm going to use those for flowers, and that's what I'm putting in my green stock. So I'll put the strawberries down below in the spring, and then in here we'll have ranunculus and snapdragons and all sorts of things. So I'm really excited about that. Got to get this bed finished. Reason it's not finished is there's a gigantic rock back in there. And my uncle is going to come up this spring, and he's got the drill that can drill into it. We'll break it off. And there they are. We'll break it off so I can get that bed in there. And then that'll give me like 4 nice long beds. I think these are 32, 8, 8, 16. Yeah, 32. So both of these beds are 32 feet. And 32 feet and 3 feet wide. So that gives me a lot of growing space for cut flowers. So I'm really excited about that. And then right behind the strawberries, I'll have like a 2-foot path thereabouts, and I'm going to run another bed all the way along there up to about here. I think at the end of the beds is where I'm going to put my compost bins, so it's really nice and handy in the center. And then I'm hoping to get one more bed put in the middle. We'll see once the beds go in. I have to measure everything out, so that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to come out here with a tape measure, measure the space, and figure out for sure what I can do. And then here I'm putting in a bed. So basically this bed will be built, and right from that end will be another bed that goes out. Here's my haskaps, and I actually have a couple of plants of Lisianthus, and they're actually still alive. So I'm waiting to see if they will grow this spring. Right now I have this rock wall, but I plan on actually putting like a cedar wall there. And then here I'll probably just have like some decorative flowers type things growing there that I'm not going to harvest. And then you can see I've got more wood, so that'll be for the bed up there. And then this I'm going to trellis. So I'm going to go out about 3-4 feet and then up 6.5 inches, then another one. And my plan is to build flower beds all along here. I'm going to use every single piece of land that I have. And that's part of why I want to put that wall here, is because up here, I don't know, I'll do something. I'll have something growing. All right. Now, as I mentioned before, we've changed this bed into our asparagus bed. Asparagus hasn't grown great so far. Along the edge here, and those 2 big plants, this will be their 3rd year. Yeah, the 3rd year growing, so hopefully we'll get something from there. This is where our rhubarb is. I think for this year, I'll leave it here. Then I'm thinking I'll transplant it down into the lower garden. Our blueberries, so we're looking forward to see what we get this spring, how they survive the winter. And then this bed, I'm going to turn it into my double click cosmos bed. So I am going to probably put little pathways, like halfways, going from like here to the back fence, so that I can get in there and out of there fairly easy. I have to get on the other side of the fence this spring and cut out those raspberry bushes, and I got to clean it up. And then again, I will have the plan is to have sunflowers growing all along the fence, so I'm really quite excited about that. All right, let's go look at the new plans for my garden, or what I'm going to do. So nothing's really going to change in this bed. Those are still snapdragons. We never pulled them down, and actually if I was to take you up there, we still have some blooms. And we've been down to -5, so that just shows you Celsius how cool weather crops snapdragons really are. So yeah, not going to really do anything there, but this is where the changes start. So along this fence here, the bricks and the rocks here, I'm going to dig all that up. I've ordered 5 peony plants. It takes 3 years for peonies to really produce so that you have enough to cut. So that's why I wasn't going to order this year, but I thought I better order this year because it's going to take 3 years to get anything to grow for cut flower bouquets. So this here, Most of it's going to become a perennial garden, and that'll be a perennial garden for what I can use for fillers and flowers to grow. And I've got some beautiful pink daisies, just all sorts of stuff. So part of it will be annuals, but part of it will be cut. I would really like to turn this into my dahlia garden as well. The only problem is there are voles on the other side of that fence. They really haven't come over here. If I was to do that, I think I would have to dig down, put, oh, what do they call it? Hardware fabric in there to stop the voles from getting in there. And then I want to run a bed along the sidewalk and all the way down. I'm going to leave a grass pathway in there, but the big thing, the trees are going. So at some point I'm going to start cutting off all the branches and then hopefully have somebody come in and pull the trunks out for me. I'm doing some review videos showing you what we've done in the last 3.5 years. And one of them will be this orchard garden that we called it. And these trees suck. It's gonna cost more money to get what do you call it? Netting to put over it to stop the worms from getting into the cherries. And that's gonna be like, I get be $400. I can buy a lot of cherries for $400. So this all, like I said, it's all going to become part of my cut garden, and it's fairly big, so I should be able to put quite a few flowers in here. I want to make it look really pretty, and I will continue to get peonies, so I need to decide, you know, where do I want to plant those, because once I plant them I don't want to move them again. And I'm going to use all the space up here and just make it look gorgeous. All right, so that's the plans for this one. All right, let's talk about our front yard. Last year, of course, we put in Dad's memory garden, and then we've got our garden over at the far point up there. But the plan is, and it probably won't happen next year because we've got lots to do, is to take out all of the grass. And when I say grass, I mean weeds. There's very little grass. I think the most grass we have in here is like right down there, but even then you can see all the weeds. And we're going to take it all out and put in a gravel, but we're going to put pots around the edge, put some plantings. We want to put some extra parking right along the road there, so rip that out and put in parking, and then put in a few perennial gardens that I can harvest off of. And at the front, like over here, is close to, whoopsie, where's my finger? Yeah, over here is like where our front door is. I want to put a bench in there and have a nice big pot at each end, but that is most likely not going to be next year. The focus will be in the back. So as you can see, we have a lot of plans for this coming year, or I should say, I have a lot of plans for this coming year. I can't wait to get the cut garden in. Last year, the few flowers that I had, when I picked them and made bouquets, it just made me feel happy. So I'm really looking forward to it and just sharing that joy with other people. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of work, but we'll see what happens. But it's exciting. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out the next few videos that I'm going to be putting out after this one. So a week after the 14th, I will be putting out my first review video. And that'll be reviewing what we've done in the last 3.5 years. And I have to tell you, when I go back and watch it, I am shocked at all the work that we did and how much hard work. You forget after a while what all you've done. So make sure and subscribe so you don't miss out on those videos, and also share the videos. Let other people know. My goal for the end of this year, because we're in 2024, is to hit 1,000 subscribers. I know it's not a lot compared to other people, but we have a small yard. We're just over 1/3 of an acre, but you can really do a lot with 1/3 of an acre. And not only that, I had no gardening experience. So 3.5 years ago when I started ripping stuff up, and then it would have been 3 years when I planted my first vegetables in the garden, other than what I had in pots before we moved here, and that was only like for 1 year. So it's been a huge learning curve, and I'm really excited. We've got a greenhouse, we've got beds, we've got all sorts of things. So be sure and watch that. Don't miss out on it. And be sure and give this video a like. And like I said, watch out for those review videos. I think you're going to find them really interesting. And really, it's just Mom and me that have been doing the work. And so, ladies, you don't have to have a guy to help you. You can do it I mean, it's nice, guys, it is nice to help. But yeah, so make sure and watch those. And bye for now from My Mini Homestead. Take care, everybody, and Happy New Year.